What's up, everybody? It's your girl Tyra, and happy Spooktober. Growing up in a Southern Black family household, we did not celebrate Halloween. Well, actually we did, but it was through Hallelujah Night at my church. And even though I loved Hallelujah Night, I couldn't help but be the curious child I was and think, why don't we celebrate Halloween like some of my friends? I want to go trick-or-treating. I want to carve pumpkins. I want to dress up like a ghost or a goblin. So being 26 years old now, I decided to learn about this holiday and share with you guys some of my findings. Today, we will learn the origin of 7 modern Halloween traditions, but first, let's cue the intro. If you guys have been enjoying my Halloween content, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel and turn your notifications on so you can get all of the alerts for any upcoming spooky content. And in the comments below, let me know what your favorite Halloween tradition is. So let's get into these.
Tyra, come on and let us tell the people about Halloween.
T. Barbara, you don't even know about these Halloween traditions.
Yes, I do. I was on the interweb this morning reading about it.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Okay, guys. Well, it looks like I'm gonna let my aunties take this one. Is it on, baby?
Yes, ma'am. You can start whenever you're ready.
Finally, she putting us on YouTube. You better not mess up her following. Deb, we can do this now. Now, what did she say we was talking about today? Halloween traditions and such. So I was reading about that today on the internet, Barb. Look, Deborah, if you ain't gonna help, I need you to shut up. Fine. What is Halloween anyway? Well, I'm glad you asked. According to History.com, Halloween evolved from a Celtic holiday called Samhain. Samhain, Barb. It's pronounced Samhain, not Samhain. Get it together. You sure? Okay. Samhain, which was a Gaelic term for summer's end, a day to say goodbye to the warmth and light. The ancient Celts believed that the veil between the physical world and the spirit world was at its thinnest during Samhain, which would make it the perfect time to communicate and interact with the dead. But once the Roman Empire defeated the Celts and gained their land in 1st century AD, the Romans combined many Celtic traditions, including Samhain, with their own holidays. So Samhain evolved into All Hallows Day, or All Hallowsmas, whatever you want to call it, where hallow means sanctify or declare holy, and they celebrated it on November 1st. Well, don't forget to tell them that years later, the Roman Catholic Church also designated November 1st as All Saints Day, in honor of all the Catholic saints. They celebrated with a mass, bonfires, and people dressed like angels and saints parading through the villages. Thank you, Deb. So then, on November 2nd, they celebrated All Souls Day, a holy day set aside for honoring the dead and the departed, which left October 31st to be called All Hallows Eve, which was eventually shortened into Halloween. Now you gotta get into the good stuff like pumpkin carving, trick-or-treating, and all that stuff. I am getting to it if you let me. You always interrupting me. Start with pumpkin carving then. I am, Deborah. Fun fact, I carved my first ever pumpkin Halloween 2017, and we recorded it.
That was me, T-Barb. That wasn't you. And it's up on my YouTube channel now.
You, me, same person, right? But how did pumpkin carving come about? Well, before the modern jack-o'-lantern, turnip lanterns were used. In ancient Ireland, they would hollow out large turnips, potatoes, or even beets, and carve them into the devil's face to frighten away the spirits. They would then use a candle or even a piece of coal to light up the turnips. Then they would place them in the windows and in the doorways of their homes. They believed that these carvings would scare off evil spirits and welcome in deceased loved ones. Later, Irish immigrants arriving to the New World during the early 1800s started using pumpkins instead because they were easier to carve. So, Halloween scarecrows. Yes, Deb, if you had to call them something else. Well, I thought that's why people started wearing costumes, to ward off all of the ghosts and spirits and all of that stuff. Yes, you all right, Deb. During Samhain, superstitious country folk would disguise themselves with animal skins and masks made from sailcloth or linen. Then they would go outside and make lots of noise to try to fool troublesome spirits into thinking that they were one of them, or they would just scare them away. That makes sense. So these were pagan practices, right? Yes. So what does pagan actually mean? Hey Siri, what does pagan mean?
Paganism is a term first used in the 4th century by early Christians for people in the Roman Empire who practiced polytheism. Would you like to hear more?
Oh, okay. So when the Romans came, they added religion to Samhain. Now we on the same page. So when did all of the trick-or-treating become a thing? All the kids like to do now is trick-or-treat and all that stuff. So there are a lot of arguments for this one, Deb. But during Samhain, an extra plate setting was set at the table as an offering to the dead loved ones. Food was also placed outside near the doorway to appease the spirits that may want to play a trick on you. But today's trick-or-treating dates back to the Middle Ages, when poor people collected baked goods called soul cakes from rich people. In exchange for these cakes, the poor people promised to pray for the rich people's dead loved ones on All Souls Day. Well, that sounds fair. Shoot, I'll pray for your second husband, Eddie, if you give me some cake. God rest his lonely soul. Deborah, shut up. We got a video to finish. Okay, fine. But you talk like your throat dry. Let me tell them about how the Halloween colors came about. Be my guest. You were supposed to be helping me anyway. Good evening, everyone. My name is Deborah, sister to Barbara Ann. I didn't get to fully introduce myself. Deborah, these people ain't here for all that now. Just tell them about the Halloween color so we can move on. You all will have to excuse my sister. She has had a pine cone stuck up her butt that has been there for 42 years. I just want to say, the classic Halloween colors that we use today can trace their origins back to Samhain as well. Black represented the death of summer, while orange is symbolic to the autumn harvest season. Back to you, Barbara Ann. Thank you, Deborah. Now, while you was talking, I went and got me an apple because now we're going to talk about one of my favorite fall games, bobbing for apples. You know good and well you can't eat that apple without your dentures falling out. Deborah, let me finish. I'm gonna let you finish. Just know I don't have no more fixing it. So, bobbing for apples started out as a courting ritual from the Roman festival honoring Pomona, the goddess of agriculture and abundance. They did it in multiple ways, but the gist of it was that young men and women would be able to tell their future relationships based on the game. I didn't know about that one. Looks like I gotta go buy for my husband. Deb, you too old and dusty to get a man now. Besides, you haven't wiped off them cobwebs in years. Says the old biddy who had 3 husbands down on her just because they were tired of looking at you. At least I can keep a man if I wanted one. Auntie Deborah and Auntie Barbara, stop it. We got a video to finish. You lucky this time, heifer. Auntie Deborah, I remember you telling me about the first haunted house. Oh, yes. Well, the first haunted house on record was built in 1915, but you are referring to the first Halloween-themed haunted house, which was around the Great Depression. Deb, she wants you to go into detail. Oh, shoot. Okay, so in the period leading up to the Great Depression, Halloween became a time when young men could blow off steam, i.e. wreak havoc on their towns, and sometimes they went a little too far. They would scare passing pedestrians and ring doorbells and run away. Ding Dong Ditch it was called. Yes, Ding Dong Ditch. Now Barbara Ann, stop interrupting me. But then, in 1933, parents were outraged when hundreds of teenage boys flipped over cars, sawed off telephone poles, and even taunted the police. Couldn't have been black boys. Sure enough wasn't. We had segregation, lynching, civil unrest, and all of that going on, but let's dive into that when we have more time. So, rather than banning the holiday, many schools and civic organizations began to sponsor parades, costume contests, and haunted houses as a part of a nationwide drive for a safe Halloween. And then parents also started to accompany their children on house-to-house visits in search for candy. That's trick-or-treating. You know, Deb, the only thing that I would eat if I was going trick-or-treating is this here candy corn. Boy, I love me some of this. Girl, why are you looking like that? This stuff here is good, you hear me? According to some stories, A candy maker at Wonderly Candy Company in Philadelphia invented this candy back in the 1880s. But they weren't always that popular until another company brought the candy to the masses almost 20 years later. Back then, they used to call it chicken feed. And the box said, something worth crowing for. But it wasn't always a Halloween candy, you know. It was just associated with harvest time because it looks like corn. But in the 1950s, candy corn became Halloween specific when trick-or-treating got a lot more popular in the United States. Yep, sure did. And I think it's because them businessmen just wanted to make some more money. Holidays in the USA are all about the money. Think about it. Christmas, Labor Day, Easter, Thanksgiving, Halloween. Shoot, them marketing people just want to make a sale out of everything. Bob, let me ask you one thing. How do you know all that stuff you said was true? I Googled it. So if I Google this stuff and find that it says otherwise, then what? Well, Deb, this stuff is true depending on who you ask. I mean, I read about it on History.com, National Geographic, Almanac.com. I ain't never heard of no Almanac.com. Well, believe me or not, you want some of this candy corn? Good, get that chicken chow out my face. It's called chicken feed, Deborah. Hello, this is Barbara Ann. If you would like to see more of me and my sister on Tyra's YouTube channel, make sure you hit that like button and what else I'm supposed to say? Like, comment, and subscribe, Barb. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe, and you all have a good night. Bye-bye now. Barb, you don't know if it's nighttime when they watching this. Deborah, do you have to comment on everything?